Hi friends, this is Academic IELTS. In this lecture, I will give you some idea about the listening test. This is lecture 3. I'm sorry that I'm getting late to upload my number 3 lecture video. Okay, let me give you some idea about the basic idea about the IELTS listening test, and then I'll deep into the main tips and tricks about IELTS listening, how you will get good marks in these sections, and what will be the procedure to get good marks in these particular sections. First of all, you guys have to remember one thing, that is, in IELTS, for academic and the general, the listening test is same. That means you have to sit for one particular exam questions. That means any academic student and the general students both have to sit for one particular set of questions. So no difference between general and academic in these particular sections. Now come to the very basic thing. In the listening test, you will get 30 minutes, or it can be more than 30 minutes. You have to answer your 40 questions in this limited time. That means you will not get any extra time to answer your questions. But most important thing is, you will in the very beginning, you have to check something which is very important to get good marks in the listening test. That means before starting the listening test, the examiner center will give you PDF format of this test, and that is like, you can see, that is like this. They will give you like these 4 pages as a PDF format, PDF hard copy, and you have to answer your desired answer by hearing the audio track. And after starting the audio track, you have no option to stop your audio track, or you haven't get any option to go previous questions. That means if you miss any particular number of questions, you have no option to answer these questions. You can guess that might be this or that answer, but you have no options to go back and check your answer. So be careful and stick to your concentration level from number 1 to number 40 questions. This is the very basic thing to get good marks in IELTS listening test. So be careful. Now I will give you some idea what will be the approaches to get good marks in these particular sections. Okay. If you need to practice yourselves in your home, you should collect Cambridge IELTS books. Normally Cambridge IELTS published more than 2 books every year. This is Cambridge IELTS number 11. In these books, you will get 4 individual test set. Every test is containing all the 4 parts. So this is very easy to practice yourselves in home, and by practicing yourself, you can get some idea what will be your approaches and how you will get good marks in these sections. Now, most important thing in this academic IELTS listening is the more question goes on, the more the difficulty level rise. That means In section 1 you will get 10 questions. In section 2, section 3 and section 4, every part contains 10 questions. That means 40 questions. But most important thing is, when your question goes to section 1 to section 2 and section 2 to section 3, the difficulty level will be increased. So you have to be more careful and more concentrate your mind to get good marks in the later part of these sections. And most important thing is, you have to be very careful about the pronunciations and need to be very careful about the singular and plural form about any particular questions. They might say ball or balls, man or mans. So this is very important to understand what is the actual thing. It might be singular, it might be plural. And there might be some question about filling the blanks type. In that particular type, you have to be more careful what will be the, it might be the noun form, it might be the adjective form. So sometimes you have to guess your answer, because you have to listen some Canadian English or British English. Every part have their different way of communication. Sometimes two peoples talk with each other in Canadian English, so sometimes they might be talk with each other in American English. So it will be very difficult if you are not used to hear this sort of communicative English. So need to be very careful, and you guys need to be practice yourself in home to get good marks in these particular sections. Now, one important thing to get good marks in this particular section is, you have to be keep ahead of the questions. That means, if the audio track is talking about the number 2 questions, your eye should be in number 3 and number 4 question, because if you miss any particular question on that particular time, you can catch straightly to number 4 or number 3 questions. You can understand, I think. That means the more you go ahead to your questions, you have more chances to don't miss any questions. You can guess yourselves. After playing the audio track, you can understand what is necessary thing they ask, what is not necessary thing. That means when you answer the questions, first of all you have to look to the instruction first, what they said. First of all, in section 1 you can see they said write one word and oblique or a number. That means in these sections the answer should be in one word or one number. So you have to be more careful to answer your questions in these particular sections. Same way, every part have their individual different types of maybe different type of instruction. In section 2 you will get one word for each questions. That means number 11, number 12, number 13 and 14 answer should be in one word. So be careful to answer your questions before you have to look to the instruction first. Very careful. And most important thing to answer all this question is very difficult as far as the difficulty level is concerned. The map is normally very difficult. In a sense, we are not used to communicate ourselves in English, so the communicative type to say someone what is the direction your right, left, and the position type of questions is more difficult at very initial state. So we have to be very careful to answer the map questions. And most difficult level of question is multiple choice questions. Why, you can say, why this is difficult? The answer is given, so I just have to tick these marks, not that, because this 21 to number 30 question, all the question level is a communicative type. That means 2 or 3 person, they are talking with each other for any particular subject or number of difficult subject. They said something, they can argument themselves with any topic, and the answer may be different. At the initial state, you may think that number 21 answer is psychology or physics, but the particular communication goes on, you can understand that the question answer might be number C. So very careful about answer this question, because in that communications they will touch all the subject. They might be talking with each other. Physics is my favorite subject at the initial state, but the job sector is not very easy, so I switch myself to psychology or physics. That means at the initial state, maybe one person is said something, but at the later part he might change his decision, so your question answer might be different. So very be careful to answer this particular sections, because this is the most difficult part as far as the IELTS listening difficulty is concerned. Now I'll give you some idea how you will get good marks in these sections, because all the different sections may have different type of pronunciation, different type of accent. They might be talk with each other in British accent or American English accent or Australian accent is very difficult. They normally talk with each other very fast, so this is very difficult. So what will we do to get good marks in these sections? Very easy. We'll practice ourselves in home. You can get the audio track from YouTube. This is very easy, and you might download these papers and print these things and practice yourself in home. And for this particular accent, you should watch the movies, British movie. You can watch American movies also. There are lots of movie in YouTube. You can watch this. At the initial state, you can download the subtitle form, and that will help you to guess your answer. And you should watch podcast. This is very popular nowadays, so you can hear English drama, English song. It will help you to guess the correct idea about the English, correct idea about the pronunciation. The more you practice, the more you can understand the idea, understand the scenario very easy. I will give you some very basic pronunciation words, most frequent word. There might be 12,000 frequent word. It will help you to understand, to practice yourself in home. Sometimes we might mistaken very silly word when you answer this question, because you have a pressure scenario. You have something in your mind that you will get 7 or 8 or 9 marks in this listening part. So you may have chances to make mistake in these silly mistakes, especially to answer your answer your questions. So be careful about that. Link will be in the description below. If you have any questions regarding IELTS listening, I will give you some idea. And there are plethora of instructions and teachers available in YouTube. You can search also, not only my channel, you can search also from I will give you some links in the description. Okay, thank you so much.